Alright folks, I go into this a lot, and I don't really have a lot on Michigan because there's not a lot of Michigan stories because I am in a Democratic state, and unfortunately that means that the stories are more liberal biased and bad shit, bad PR, this and that and everything else. So I found one here, and I've seen this story several other places, so I'm going to run it. Disclose.tv. Camping is now child abuse. Michigan government seizes kids to punish family for off-grid camping trip. Not making this stuff up, folks. This one is one of the more real ones. July 6, 2015. Is there a concerted effort on the part of authorities on the state and federal level to find ways to criminalize individual preparedness and exercise liberty, or the exercise of liberty? Some Americans might think so after the nightmare a Michigan family has endured, and all for the crime of camping. Camping, ladies and gentlemen, camping. Go to a nice place in the woods or near the woods, pitch a tent, get the barbecue going, get your family going, have a nice maybe family outing, go to the lake, put your poles in the water, you name it, folks. According to various reports, family had their 6 kids seized to Michigan state officials after they learned that the kids and the adults were living in tents. The experience began for Christopher and Antonia Hernandez, May 19th. Otsego County Sheriff deputies and an official from State Children's Protective Services, or CPS, initially confiscated the children. Ended June 10 when the kids were returned to their parents following a court victory in which Hernandez successfully argued that their kids are eligible for enrollment in the Tillenig Native American tribe. So this had to almost be culturally diverse for them not to throw them in the slammer and keep the kids. So the Federal Indian Child Welfare Act makes it more difficult for state officials to separate Native American families. Michigan has similar state laws, said a report Off Grid News. If the family had not had the Tlingit link, the case still would be ongoing, with the children still in foster care. The report said, meaning if not the Native American status, living in a tent would be somewhat illegal in Michigan. That is fucking bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, I am 14% Cherokee Indian. I cannot enter my tribe's or my ancestors' tribe whatchamacallit, because the family is not at 15%. If this happened to my family, we have documents which prove that we are of Cherokee heritage. And of being of Cherokee heritage, this would not apply because we do not belong to the actual tribe. Isn't that some fucking bullshit? In other words, my kids would be taken away for camping because, according to them, it causes neglect and abuse. It's a clear case of neglect and abuse. It should be every parent's right to raise their children as they see fit, unless the government can prove that what the parent's doing is acting and harming the child. In other words, the government can say anything in the government's defense against the parents that they're actually harming the child. Well, what about all the vaccines that the government is pushing? What about all the other shit? Well, it is what it is. Anyway, so I'm not going to read everything, but basically the family decided to go camping for the summer to a 10-acre property that they were buying, folks, and that they do own a house. So this was private property. The federal and the state basically trespassed on private property. CPS seized minors on private property because they were basically living off the grid in some way or fashion. I have nothing further to say. I have nothing.